You can talk towards me however you want to look at it.
So, I'm Grant Griesbach. I'm from Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Currently live in Concord, just out of Johnson Creek. I've raced super late model stock cars for, this will be my 11th season, coming into 2026. And I also drive a Midwest truck for Lynch Racing in the number 60, and that'll be my third full-time season in that. Last year I was had 4 different championships, WR and Kakana, their weekly, and then their red, white, and blue series, Slinger Super Late Model Champ, and then the Wisconsin Short Track Champions at Jefferson Speedway in the truck, and then I was runner-up in the season-long points last year. So last year my success set me up for some NASCAR opportunities, and I got invited to be a part of the Ram Race for the Seat show to compete for a NASCAR Truck Series ride.
Take me back to those, what earliest memory you remember of first jumping into a race car?
Well, getting into a car, I got into cars when I was 9. I started go-karts even earlier when I was 5. Just getting into it when I was a kid. My dad always had a passion for it, and he never raced himself but wanted me to get into it at a young age. And I hopped in a 4-cylinder race car at Slinger when I was 9 years old and was winning races when I was 10. So obviously one of the younger ones to ever do it, and kind of, I feel like, create a new wave of younger race car drivers, and the sport desperately, needs a lot more youth in it. To get into NASCAR nowadays, it's not about talent, it's about money, and we try to race on a budget and try to do the best we can with that budget. So I kind of gave up on that dream when I was 16, and this show, giving me an opportunity without having to bring any money, kind of reignited that childhood dream back in me.
What does it mean for you to represent as a driver from the state of Wisconsin?
I'm super proud of where I come from. Wisconsin racing's definitely not something that's super known about in the NASCAR scene. Kind of being 1,000 miles away from that Charlotte area, it's just different. There's a lot of talent up here, and I believe it's the hardest race in the country. And we just have a lot of talented guys that'll never get their NASCAR shot and never get discovered. There's a lot of people out there that think we spend millions of dollars on racing, when in reality we don't. And although we do spend money and we work our day jobs just so we can go racing on the weekends, we try to run a tight operation and try to have as most fun as we can on the limited budget we have. So it's racing weekly. The Midwest Truck Series is very affordable. So just trying to get the most amount of races and just race as much as I can. It might not get me the big notoriety in the bigger races, but it's a bigger sample size when I can race 40 times a year and show my successes 2-3 times a week all summer.
Has there been any other risks or sacrifices that you've taken to get to where you are?
Definitely. When I bought my house, I bought a small house with a big garage, so definitely just made it kind of my way of life, and everything revolves around racing. Growing up through high school, I was missing football practices and some games sophomore year just so I could go racing, and that's just always been my passion, and I've kind of just put everything else to the side, and I feel like my career could be a little, my day job career could be a little bit more successful, and I could be a little bit further, and I probably could have spent more time focusing on my studies in college, but wouldn't change a thing in the world, and I'm really grateful to be where I am today. Well, before the breakthrough year last year, we've just been doing it for 9 years at that point, and it's been very stagnant, and we've had speeds, just nothing's ever came together, and to win 5 races in a year and win championships. So it's before last year, it's kind of getting you wonder why you're putting in all that work for no results, and luck kind of turns around, and life has a mysterious way of working, and God takes care of you, and you find some success, and it reminds you why you do it for years like that, and hopefully we can keep it going. It's going to be hard to back up what we did last year, but that's also another mental hurdle that if it's not as successful as last year, but it's still very successful in its own right, kind of handling that, not getting too down on ourselves, and just keep building year to year in what we have.
When the opportunity came for you to participate in the Ram Trucks Race for the Seat, what was the first thing that was going on in your mind?
Well, first, was it real? Roush did something similar 20, 25 years ago in the early 2000s, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare. I had about 5 weeks before I left to go. It was kind of weird the first couple days. There's cameras everywhere, bedrooms, around the house, everywhere at the racetrack. And it definitely took a few days, and you're afraid to say the wrong things in front of the camera, but I think we had 15 days of recording, so after a few days it almost just becomes you just be who you are. It's hard to hide for that long, when cameras are on you 24/7. You can't really fake who you are. I feel like most of them were very true to themselves. There were a couple that were definitely playing it up and definitely got it in their head that it's TV, you got to make drama and make things that people see, and that's just not who I am. I'm not a fake person. I really don't care, and if people like me or don't, it really doesn't change how I go through my day-to-day life. I got the people around me that I know like me for who I am, and that's enough for me.
Up until the end of the show, what exactly were you able to gain out of that experience, whether it's track experience or just something mentally that you've learned after the show?
Well, as a racer perspective, driving those late models down there, they're quite a bit different than what we have. They're a little bit more like the Cup cars of old. They have truck arms, steering boxes. We're way different. Those cars are perimeter chassis, 500 pounds heavier than what we got, a little less horsepower. So there definitely was an adjustment to drive on the legend cars we drove that I barely fit in. I drove as a kid when I was 12, so used to fit in them better, and I've kind of been in that world a little bit. But the biggest thing that I took out of the show is lifelong friends, the other cast members. We have a group chat, and it's just people that you have to follow their race careers, and it's people you would have never met and never known or never cared about. So it's just kind of lifelong friends in the racing industry that you don't compete against, but they're doing similar things in their own right.
Good morning, race fans at Dells Raceway Park. Today has a lot going on all day in qualifying sessions and race events. Weather is going to play a huge factor in his race. Yesterday was all sunshine and cool air. Cooling remains the same. However, rain is going to pop in at around 2 p.m. expected when Grant Griesbach is supposed to make his run with the truck. Griesbach has to give it a go-ahead to start his qualifying laps. He's got the green flag. This is his first of 3 attempts. Gets a nice entrance on the inside and a decent exit. He's the only car out there on the track. First lap is complete for 14.589. Oh, slides the rear tire a bit as he tries to go a bit deeper on the inside in turns 1 and 2. He's got the white flag, got 14.183, 0.4 second of a difference. Got a much better exit off of turn 2. What's he gonna get? Checker flag, 6th place, 14.8800, 1900 from the leader. That is a great run from Grant Griesbach.
He said I knew after I landed, I was going to go faster than the track was just getting shittier and shittier. So like, probably a ton difference between the track and it got cold too. How did they determine the order?
They pulled over chips.
Immediately.
Right now?
Yep.
Done immediately now or immediately later?
What do you want to do?
Sit here all day and look at each other?
But they're gonna make
we got a big trailer now.
You've got that black Jeep. It would be just a little too hard to get the track dry. As soon as we get it dry, it would rain again. So we are going to pull the plug on today. Now don't freak out. Okay, everybody hang on to your tickets. We will be racing tomorrow. We are racing tomorrow. Be sure to get on out here, spread the word. It's going to be a much nicer day tomorrow. We'll see you back here tomorrow at DRP.
Ready to go home, Steph? Okay.
What about Pastor? That's not
Well, Brian Holtz was over there and he goes, well, I didn't run that hard in my stealth session because I was trying to save my tires for qualifying.
right.
So how are you doing that?
But if you requalify one, you gotta requalify.
Oh, I qualify.
You can't.
Yeah, that ain't fair.
Jeez. He's not really sure what he's doing right now. No, they get you.
Is he ever sure? Casey almost got into it with Drew. It was pretty funny.
Who did?
Casey. Drew was being hall monitor and
You're standing back by me and putting you like, I'm like, Drew, you got to get up there to call him for you.
he said, you want to wrestle? He said,
Shows you how much attention that takes. To go 10 for 2-0.
So even though the trucks are not in the main event of this weekend, a driver to definitely look out for is Grant Griesbach. He returns to another season after his appearance in the Grand Race for the Seat Show. Grant hopped into the car feeling very confident in himself and in the car. The moment has come for the green flag. Can he convert all his energy and effort to a race win? The start of the 2026 Midwest Truck Series at Dell Raceway Park. It's green flag and away we go! Griesbach has his speed. He has the exit deep into the inside, gets second place. Griesbach on the inside once again, gets a good exit for the lead. It's not over. He doesn't have to clear yet. The blue 97 is still on his right side, on his blind spot. Trying to recover his momentum on the outside. But Griesbach has the upper hand on the inside and gets away with it. He is clear. 10 laps into the race and he gets first place. So Griesbach's fastest lap was on the 4th with 14.342. His last lap was 14.485. And he seems to be running away from the grid. As a gap to second is 1.283. Oh no! We're going to spin off at turn number 4. On the 24th lap, caution is out. Number 52 also comes to the pits with issues. Number 21 has also come in. And number 38. What issues are these cars having? Griesbach still has a strong pace in his car that can get him away from the grid again despite the caution the cars entering the pit garages. As long as he doesn't end up as one of them. Is that Grant? Is that Grant going slowly? It is! That's Grant! Oh my goodness me! Grant has entered the pit garage!
an exact explanation of what happened to the car, maybe? Or?
Fuel pump.
Schneider, Andy Angelis, row number 1.
Mechanical, what can you do? That's racing.
And third, row
Mechanical
number
failure, you really can't get away from it, you know? It's part of racing, just like the weather.
So let's say you're just wandering around, enjoying your day, and then someone comes up to you with a newspaper and they happen to find your name in it. They ask you, well, who is this guy? Who is Grant? How would you explain to someone who has never heard of you before?
I'd explain myself, kind of just as a, race car driver, but also just a real person. I feel like I'm very authentic in what I do, and if something's on my mind, I'll say it, right or wrong. Whether you like it or not, I'll tell you. So, just authentic, true to myself. Love the people around me and my family. I'm very family driven, and race is just what I do. I love doing it. That's what I live for. I wake up in the morning to, motivated to go to work, so I can have the money to go racing, and just everything in my life seems to revolve around it.
Co-host Eric